having chartered his own course and achievements.
I thought in my back of my head that I always wanted to become an actor and a model, but I never said that loud because I thought people would make fun of me.
A promising career in the making.
I would keep on trying my luck, and I would take up various internships. So I actually worked in 9 different sectors to find out where my calling was.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Darasing Khurana for excellence on acting.
Hello, welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this interview as part of our NewsX A-list series. We're in conversation today with actor, philanthropist, and Mr. India 2017, Darasing Khurana. Darasing, welcome to NewsX. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much, Uday. Thank you.
Let me just begin, by just recapping a bit of your journey for our viewers today. So tell us, Darasing, how did your love for modeling start? How did the journey begin for you?
So honestly, it started really young. When I was a kid, I would always watch. I come from a very small town. It is called Parbhani in Maharashtra. So we have absolutely no exposure to film or the film industry or the glamour world. And while I was studying here, I would always participate in all the fashion shows, dramas, and dance that would happen. So I thought in my back of my head that I always wanted to become an actor and a model, but I never said that loud because I thought people would make fun of me, and secondly, I had absolutely no idea about how do I go about the entire field. So it started really young, and in 2006, I was the title Mr. Parbhani, the town that I come from, and I think that was the seed that was sown back in 2006, and since then, I dreamt of becoming Mr. India someday. And here we are.
Well, it came true, of course, as I said earlier in 2017. What was the experience of participating in that pageant, actually winning it, and then, of course, going on to represent, India at the international pageant in 2018?
So, it completely took a backseat. My dream of becoming an actor and a model took a backseat while I was studying. So I got a lot into my studies. I studied a BCom with advertising. Then I studied entrepreneurship in King's College London. Then I went to Pace University, New York, to study entrepreneurship. I got back and I did my MBA from Narsi Monji Institute in Mumbai. So while I was doing all of that, though I would keep on trying my luck, and I would take up various internships. So I actually worked in 9 different sectors to find out where my calling was.
Okay.
And while I was doing all of that, I had somewhere forgotten that, my dream as a kid was to become an actor and a model. And, my eighth career option was a celebrity stylist.
Yeah.
And I was styling Hrithik Roshan. And I styled him for 2016 Mr. India when he went to sash the ceremony.
Wow.
So once he got back, I went to meet him and take back the clothes. And he told me that he looked at me. So he was going through a very rough patch at that time, and he would talk very little. So he just looked at me and he said that, "तू क्यों नहीं जाता Mr. India में? सब तेरे जैसे ही लड़के थे, लंबे, उच्चे, दाढ़ी वाले." And I got surprised. I'm like, Hrithik is saying that, and I'm like, "अरे आप कुछ भी बोलते हो, मजाक कर रहे हो." And I took it very lightly.
Yeah.
So I left from there. And a couple of months later, while I was crossing Juhu Circle in Mumbai, I saw a huge board calling young boys for Mr. India auditions. Do you have it in you? You can be the next, something of that sort. And that took me back to what Hrithik said. And then that took me back to what my childhood dream was.
Yeah.
So I thought, if somebody of that caliber said that to me, probably he meant it. Why not just give it a shot? And that's when I left styling. And I started concentrating on myself, my physique, and my communication skills. I started working on all of that. I probably worked for 2 months on the entire thing after giving up styling.
Okay.
And I participated in Mr. India. And I got shortlisted until I became in the top 35 in the country. So now this journey, nobody in my family knew that, I was participating. Because I'll take you a little back. After I completed my MBA, my family has a family business here, and they always wanted me to come back and take care of the family business. Yeah. It is a conservative Punjabi family. And I always knew that I do not want to come back and take care of the family business, but I would always tell them that yes, let me study, मैं अपनी पढ़ाई पूरी कर लूं, and I will definitely come back and take care of this.
Okay.
So while I was doing all of that, they waited for me to finish my MBA.
Yeah.
After I finished my MBA, I come from a joint family of 16 members, all of them like, extremely scary. I'm being very honest in that.
Yeah.
So all these 16 members sat after my MBA saying that, when are you moving back to Parbhani
Yes.
now? When are you, what business are you going to be taking care of? And it really took me guts to tell them that I do not want to come back to the family business. I need time. I want to prove myself. And when I said that, Uday, you will not believe I was given death threats. I was house arrested. They wanted to hit me. Uh, for the next 10 days, I was just in the house, not allowed to step out, nothing at all. And every morning and evening, there would be meeting of all these people. And I alone, along with my mother, would be the one who would support the thing that, I want to go and study, or, after my studies, I want to actually follow my passion and do something by myself. Other 14 members would just oppose to it. So one fine day, after 10 days of almost house arresting, I had to run from my house.
Okay.
And my mother said, go run. I mean, it's been quite a struggle to send you to all the leading institutions in the world to study entrepreneurship and develop yourself. And now is the time that you have to live it.
Yeah.
So don't be here. And I was afraid that, they would actually question my mother that you were the only one supporting and you knew, and you asked him to run away. She is such a strong lady. She said, I will face everybody, you just run away.
Yeah.
So I had to run from my house, post which everybody stopped speaking to me. And during this time, Mr. India happened. So I was not in a position to tell them that, I am a finalist from India for Mr. India. So just one day before, I told my mother that, Mom, I didn't even tell her that, I told her that, I'm a finalist now and I participated here. And there has not been a single event in my life. I have done so many events in my life, acted, drama, hosted, all of that. My mother, no matter how strict the family would be, that you cannot attend this event, this is a public event, and the crowd is not going to be good. She would hide her face and make her way to watch me.
Okay.
And of course, this was a very big deal for her that I was a finalist. So she was like, I am going to be there. And I told her, there is no way you can come because, you always come and stand in front, and I am not going to be comfortable watching you from the stage. So please don't come. So she said, okay, all right, I won't come. But you will not believe it's the mother in her. She took a train, she reached Mumbai, and the same morning she directly reached my house for the very first time, and she said, here I am now. You cannot stop me from coming. I would have directly come to your event, but I do not know Mumbai. So I had to come to your house. And seeing that, I couldn't say anything. I said, absolutely. I mean, now that she's here, I cannot do anything. I can't ask her not to come.
So she was there, and she was your good luck charm, of course, because
she was my good luck charm. He was sitting in the front row, watching me from there when I was titled Mr. India. And I think, it took me a week to sink in that, I had won that pageant, because it was a very, very long dream.
Oh, fantastic. And then, of course, you went on to represent India internationally, as I said earlier. And you have charted out a very successful career after that, in modeling and now movies as well. So now films has happened. So how was your first experience? You're doing a Punjabi film. Tell us a bit about it and how the experience was.
Honestly, this again, like I said, that I have grown up watching a couple of Punjabi actors. One of them is Gurpreet Kuggi.
Okay.
Another one is Upasna Singh. So I was just discussing before this interview, I was discussing with my brother that, as a kid, we would watch Sonpari, and there used to be in Sonpari, there used to be a Kali Pari, and she was Upasna Singh. And Upasna ji is really dear to me. And I've worked with her, and I had no idea until I Googled her and figured out that she was the black Kali Pari in the show. So, I've grown up watching all these actors. And when I auditioned and I got selected and I got to know that Smeep Kang is the director of the film, I was absolutely, honestly, everybody wants to start with Bollywood. But to be very honest, I somewhere had a couple of offers for Bollywood while I went for my Mr. International. But that is when I personally thought that I wasn't prepared for Bollywood. The reason being, I thought there are a couple of more things that I have to be polished on. And second thing, I definitely knew that, if I go wrong somewhere,
Yeah.
Bollywood won't give me a second chance.
True.
And my father is a very big fan of Punjabi films, and he would watch and he would always tell me, now that everything has changed and Mr. India and all of these things happened, now he's supporting.
Mhm.
So he said that now I think you must try Punjabi films also. You'll do well there.
Okay.
And he always said that, and I never took him seriously.
Yeah.
But I randomly auditioned for this film, and when I got the role,
Yeah.
the first thing that hit me was my father is going to be so
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
And second thing I was happy about is that it's not Bollywood. So
Yeah.
even just in case I go wrong somewhere,
You-
it's not going to kind of like be
Exactly.
the end of my career.
Exactly.
So I started with this film, and
Okay.
I am so honored to say that my director Sameet Kang, who's made films like Carry On Jatta, which are like the biggest hits of Punjabi film industry. He's the leading name in while making like comedy films. So I was very happy working with him. Was a different experience altogether. The reason being, usually directors are extremely strict when it comes on the sets, but Smeet Kang on the other side, he is relaxed, sitting like this, and he's like, do your take, and you do, and you're like, sir, was it okay? And he'll laugh. He'll like, ha, 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 ha. You bring a different freshness in the film industry. This was brilliant. So he motivates you so much that even if your heart knows that you haven't
And
performed
that's perhaps why that is seen on the big screen in the mahal in the films, of course. But we're out of time. We've run out of time, Darasing. So I'm going to thank you there for joining us, and very nice to see your family values come out. Your first film, you're proud that your father would be happy. Your first Mr. India, you're proud your mother was there in front of you. So great to see the family values. We're also doing a lot of philanthropy, so keep that up. I'm sure we'll talk about that on another day. But for today, thank you so much for being with us, and all the very best.
Thank you so much, Uday. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.